Republicans are trying to make the case that it would be inappropriate for Barack Obama to nominate a new justice for the Supreme Court after Antonin Scalia died. Arguing against those Republicans is God himself, Ronald Reagan. Let's watch.
I believe the mood and the time is now right for all Americans in this bicentennial year of the Constitution to join together in a bipartisan effort to fulfill our constitutional obligation of restoring the United States Supreme Court to full strength. It would be unfair to the parties with cases before the Supreme Court and unfair to the remaining members of the court to be left without 9 full-time justices. Each of us owes a sacred debt to our ancestors, established the rule of law in this republic, and to the citizens of the future to whom we entrust our nation's destiny. In a special way, this duty now falls upon the United States Senate as it nears a crossroad of conscience. In taking up this nomination, I hope we can all resolve not to permit a repetition of the campaign of pressure politics that has so recently chilled the judicial selection process. Let us insist that the Senate not give in to noisy, strident pressures. It's time for the Senate to show that it will join with me in defending the integrity and independence of the American system of justice. And a good way to begin would be by holding hearings promptly. A president, whether Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative, seeks out the best qualified person who generally shares the president's judicial philosophy. The Senate then decides whether the nominee meets the qualifications to serve. This way, over the years, the Supreme Court becomes composed of the best minds reflecting varied but accepted judicial philosophies. Now is not the time to change the standard, to break that tradition. And I know you join me in calling for statesmanship, not partisanship. I look forward to prompt hearings conducted in the spirit of cooperation and bipartisanship.
I look forward to it too.
Well, if Reagan said it, I guess you got to do it, right? From what I hear from the Republicans, this is Ronald Reagan.
It's better than the founders.
So, look, he's not just speaking there generally. The Republicans right now have this totally false talking point. It is not remotely true. Saying that, for the last 80 years, no justice has been confirmed in the last year of a presidency. First of all, most of that is enormously random. But in a rare instance where someone was nominated and needed to be confirmed in the final year of a presidency, it was Ronald Reagan's presidency. So he is at least partly there talking about Justice Anthony Kennedy. And it's in his final year, and he says, no, you can't run out the clock. That's great. No, you have to have hearings right now. That is your constitutional duty to hold those hearings and to confirm them. By the way, back then, the Democrats who were in charge of the Senate did hold those hearings, and Kennedy got confirmed 97-0.
Yeah.
So when you hear the media talking about, we need more bipartisanship in the good old days. Yeah, it was the good old days when people would confirm justices 97-0. Now the Republicans are like, not only will we not confirm the person, sight unseen, we don't care who it is.
Doesn't matter who it is.
We won't even hold hearings. It doesn't matter who it is. We're not even going to consider it.
It could be a Republican. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that doesn't mean that back then they would confirm anyone. Reagan tried to get certain people confirmed, and it didn't actually work.
Yeah,
and that's perfectly fine.
The Democrats were able to defeat Robert Bork, and then the next nominee had to smoke weed, and so they withdrew him, which is nonsense. Okay. So then Kennedy was confirmed. But if the Republicans had, said, okay, here are our substantive differences with this justice and why we're concerned about his or her temperament, etc., well, that's why you hold the hearings. That's fine. Here they're saying, not even going to hold the hearings. Don't care who it is. We unilaterally oppose it no matter what because we are obstructionists, and under no circumstances will we ever work with Obama to fulfill our constitutional duty. So now if you think it's not your constitutional duty, well, Ronald Reagan said it was, so I guess you're kind of wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, it's not true, the talking point. Even if it was true, it would mean nothing because simply a Supreme Court justice dying at a certain time is a rare event because there's only 9 of them. It doesn't mean anything that it didn't happen. They never actually addressed, so what if it had happened during the last year of every Republican presidency? Should they have just foregone all those opportunities? Of course they would not. And also the idea that we need to allow the American people to have a voice in this. In every way that you can figure out who they would want to be the president and choose this. I mean, we've pointed out multiple times, obviously Barack Obama, a Democrat, won the last 2 elections. And right now, both Hillary and Bernie are kicking the ass of their frontrunner. So in every way that you can gather that data, it already shows that they prefer the Democrat. And now we have the patron saint of the Republican Party agreeing with us.
Now, the American people should have a voice in this. That's why the Constitution says the president gets to nominate the Supreme Court justice. And the American people, it wasn't like it was the Martian people or the Norwegian people that elected Barack Obama to be president. It was the American people, and we're totally within his term. We're not outside of his term. We're within his term, well within his term. The American people already spoke. In fact, one of the reasons they selected Barack Obama over Mitt Romney was because of an issue like who would appoint Supreme Court justices. That was very relevant in the campaign. People voted based on it, and their vote should matter in a democracy and according to our Constitution.